All right, we are joined now by Creighton head men's basketball coach Greg McDermott. We will have coach start with an opening statement. We'll follow that up with questions. If you've got a question, click on the raise hand feature. Go ahead, coach.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying, obviously, I was thrilled with the start of the game. When you come off a loss like we did against Marquette, you hope your team will respond. And I felt like we responded in practice. And obviously that preparation carried over to the start of the game. And St. John's, they don't quit. They've got a lot of fight in them. They've showed that throughout the year. And obviously, you look at their scores, nobody's beating them like we did tonight. And that's really a credit to our guys. I thought they were locked in on both ends of the floor, willing to make the extra pass offensively. And then, they were the third best offensive rebounding team in our conference. And I thought we did a really good job cleaning up that defensive glass tonight.
All right, we'll go to questions first. Matt DeMarinis.
Hey, Mac. It seemed like for a stretch there. Can you hear me okay?
Matt, can we hear?
Is there volume on this thing?
Hang on. All right, Matt, go ahead now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you can.
Cool. It seemed like for a stretch there, maybe early second half, like that ball security was starting to maybe become more of an issue. But maybe over the last 16 or so minutes, you guys only turned it over twice. What did you tell the guys in terms of that end of that part of the game that helped them kind of clean that up a little bit?
Yeah, I just thought we needed to slow down a little. I thought we were trying to probably play a little too quick without reading the situation first. And the reality of it is St. John's makes you do that, Matt. They get you to play a way that's different than what you usually play. They try to get you playing in a hurry. They try to get you out of your rhythm. And, Mike Anderson is as good a coach in the country at making you do that. And it's hard not to revert to it once in a while. And fortunately, our guys got back on point and executed the way we wanted to execute.
All right, next we'll go to John Niatala with the Omaha World Herald.
One of those guys who didn't seem to get speed up, Greg, was Damien. What did he do just in terms of his playmaking to set guys up and just I don't know, maybe what do you see from his game tonight?
I mean, John, as you look at what he's done so far this year, I mean the guy plays the right way, and he doesn't care who gets the credit. He just wants to win. And we talked about trying to get in the paint and be patient and scour the floor. We feel like somebody's going to be open, and he did a good job finding bigs under the basket. Found some shooters, and obviously gets 10 rebounds and 10 points to go with it. I thought he in that run the second half, I thought he had his fingerprints all over it.
All right, next we'll go to John Fanta in the Big East.
Greg, speaking of those bigs, Ryan Kalkbrenner with 15 points. What stands out to you about the way that he continues to progress and play?
Well, he's got a short memory, and he didn't play very well against Marquette. Got 2 quick fouls the first half and 2 quick fouls when he went in the second half, and the physicality of that game I think got to him, and he got back to work on the practice floor. And there's going to be peaks and valleys during a freshman season, and Ryan's pretty level-headed in his approach, and he's got an incredible work ethic, and he listens, and he wants to be great. So that's a pretty good combination. And with Christian getting in some foul trouble, I thought he really gave us a lift off the bench.
Next we'll go to Rex Smith with Channel 6 Sports.
Hey, Mac. Alex O'Connell getting his first run with you guys tonight. What did you see from him? Looked like it might have taken him a little bit just to get the legs under him, but overall, what did you think?
I thought he was really nervous. And, like I may have said yesterday when I talked to the media, it's last year with Denzel knew when it was going to happen. We knew when it was going to happen. We had a chance to prepare for it. And there still was a learning curve for both Denzel and our team when we added somebody to the mix in the middle of the season. And, really until a week ago, I didn't know that this had that much teeth where it was actually going to pass. So he's been on the scout team really since games started. So, to throw him in there, I thought he did a good job. He's got a lot to learn about our system, but he'll get there. And, the reality of it is, he was going to be eligible next year in November, and now he gets to play 20 games. And I just think that's really going to help him grow as he moves into next season. And he, it's another body off the bench, an athletic body that can go get some rebounds for us, that can make some plays going to the rim. And I think you saw some of that tonight.
We'll go back to John Niatella.
Greg, did you think it was important that your guys held the lead? I know sometimes that can be a little superficial, but just certainly they answered back when St. John's made its pushes. But I wondered if you thought holding the lead was big tonight.
I don't pay a whole lot of attention to that when the game's going on. We talked all week about the spurtability of St. John's. There's been games where they've been way up and teams have gotten back into it. There's been several games where they've been behind and they come back and they win the game and they get the lead and they get all the momentum. Their defense can generate some spurts and some runs that are very difficult to get stopped. And, we avoided that for the most part tonight. They certainly had one in the first half that got them back in the game, and then they played really well to start the second half and forced us into some turnovers. But it was good to see our guys not panic, given what took place the other night.
Got time for a couple more questions. We'll start with Matt DeMarinis.
Yeah, I had one on Marcus. You mentioned that St. John's is, capable of making you play uncharacteristically fast, even though you guys typically like to play fast anyway. What did you think of his pace tonight overall?
I just think if you play 32 minutes against St. John's and you're the primary ball handler and you have one turnover, that's really good basketball. And he got the basketball moving. He made a lot of right plays, especially early in the game, getting his shooters engaged. Made some plays to the bigs rolling to the basket, and that's what we need from him. And then once that gets going, I think it's a feel good deal for him. And now he's knocking down shots and making plays for himself as well. So 20 points on 10 shots, that's the kind of efficient basketball that we've grown accustomed to from Marcus. John, you got a question? I think Rob's computer froze. So I'm sports information director now. I'm basketball coach. I'll see if I can fill those shoes. It won't be easy.
You're a Swiss Army knife, Mac.
Something like that.
I'm just curious because the TV broadcast can sometimes give us a look at things that maybe we otherwise wouldn't. With like less than 5 minutes to go, Zagorowski hits a three, and your kids are coming off the floor. And I noticed you shared a smile and it was some sort of interaction with Antoine Jones. What did you kind of say to him?
Well, I thought Antoine had a really good 3-minute stretch there when we put him in for DJ. We didn't take DJ out till right before the 8-minute timeout because he was playing so well. And, just wanted to let Antoine know that, the reason you didn't play the second half wasn't anything you did. It's what DJ was doing. He was playing at such a high level and impacting the game that we rolled with it. And, you can't get discouraged when that happens. And I was pleased that he didn't get discouraged. He went in, he played the right way, made some plays for his teammates, did a good job defensively and on the backboards. And, we're going to need more of that from Antoine. He's going to be a really, really good player for us. He just happens to be behind a really good player right now. Any other questions?
Yeah, Mac, I just had one on
Go ahead. Mac.
I just had one on DJ, if that's okay. Sorry to keep you, but I think this is probably partly our fault in analyzing the game, but you tend to label players as specialists if they're not stars, like they have one or two things they do really well. But with DJ, it feels like he doesn't really do anything poorly. He just does a lot of things well. How do you get a guy to embrace the fact that he can affect the game in so many ways, despite necessarily not having the limelight like a lot of guys will?
Yeah, DJ is a very mature young man, and he is a star. He's a star in his role, and the role that he plays for us is really, really important. And he knows he's got the green light. There's going to be nights where there's a bunch of shots there, and tonight it was get into the paint. They cut him off. He made a nice pass fake or a shot fake, and he was able to dish it to people. But his activity on the glass, what he was doing defensively, his leadership in the huddle, we aren't going to realize maybe how good he is and how valuable and important he is to our program until he's no longer there. And as you mentioned, I think people in the media with some of the success that Marcus has, or Mitch makes 11 threes and gets a lot of attention, you don't pay enough attention to the things that DJ does for our team. And we as a coaching staff fully recognize what he does for our team. We're not where we are a year ago, and we're not where we are today without him. He's a very important leadership component to this engine, and he makes it run in a lot of ways because he's a senior and he's willing to do whatever it takes to win. And how can you, as a sophomore, Antoine Jones, not fall in line with that when you're watching a senior that's been through the battles and been through the wars approach the game the right way? So, he impacts the game in many ways, and puts his fingerprints all over the game, and that's a sign of a really special player.
That's it for you.
Thanks, guys. Am I doing radio?
Yes. Let me get started with DJ. DJ, come on.
Want to just text me the number you want me to call?
Anthony, go ahead.
Actually, go ahead.
All right, we got senior Damian Jefferson. Open up for questions. We'll go first with Matt DeMarinis.
Thanks, Anthony. Hey, DJ. Last year you had a couple good games against St. John's too. I don't know if is there just something about? I see you smiling there, but is there something about just the way they play that brings out maybe the complete game that you can show off a little bit? I guess
You probably like the third person to just tell me that right now. But no, man, I feel like I just be reading the way they play, how they play off me, how they play, and how they focus on Marcus and Mitch Denzel. I just try to read off those guys and try to make the right play, man. So I don't know. I'm not going to say it's only with them. I try to do that every game, but it's more noticeable with them because of the numbers I have.
All right, John Fanta next.
Damien, your head coach, Greg McDermott, he just said that you just play the game the right way. Tell us a little bit, just where does that come from, man? Because you did a little bit of everything tonight, but what do you attribute that back to, that you're able to play the game the right way?
Just the way I was brought up and the way I was taught. Just type of different situations that we get put in. And I know that on this team, I'm not going to be the guy that scored 30 every night, but I can also be the guy who get defensive stops and get multiple rebounds and just encourage my teammates, man, the best way I can, because like Coach Mack said, I'm a senior. I try to help out the young guys the best way I can. So just me realizing that I'm probably not going to be the best scorer on this team, that a team need other attributes to contribute to being the best player. The best teammate. So I try to be the best teammate I can.
Next we'll have Rex Smith.
DJ, I think it was the last time we all talked to you. I asked you about how you embrace rebounding, and you kind of talked about how you wanted to improve on that in the coming games. Near triple-double tonight. How do you feel you're at in that area?
I feel like I was aggressive, man. I feel like tonight I was aggressive. I attacked the glass more, which I told you I was going to do. And just having a talk with Coach Mack earlier before the game, he told me I need to be more active on the boards. And he was right, man. Just my activity on the boards, I haven't been so good. And so me with the athleticism that I have, I know that I can pretty much help the team in rebounding. So I'm gonna try to do that from here on out.
All right, next we'll do John Niatella.
Yeah, Damien, could you sense it? Obviously, I'm sure you could. St. John's was kind of making a push a couple times in those games, or in that game, the momentum maybe shifting. How do you react in those moments? I think at one point it was like 54 or 52-50, and then you guys made a push to put it away. How do you keep your composure in those moments?
I just stay solid, man. We just can't panic. And sometimes, when teams make their runs, we start to panic as a team, and then that messes up our flow. So we just try to stick together, man. And I just try to tell everybody, just calm down. We're good. This game in basketball, man. Everybody makes runs, and let's figure it out and see how many stops we can get together. And I feel like we went on a run ourselves and got a lot of stops. So that's good for us, man. But yeah, just to answer your question, I feel like we just gotta slow down and calm down and don't panic.
We'll go back to Matt DeMarinis.
Hey, DJ, Mac, had kind of an interesting line after the loss on Monday, where he felt like because of your guys' experience collectively, that the film wasn't gonna whisper to you, it was gonna scream at you.
Right.
What did you hear when you watched it? What stood out to you as far as the things that happened in that game that you felt like you guys could control better tonight?
Just boxing our guys out and just playing with some toughness, because I think Marquette so far is probably one of the most toughest teams that we played and that's probably one of the most toughest teams in this conference. So I feel like that game we got bullied, man, and it was just like a slap in the face because like we all tougher than that, but they came in our house and beat us on our home floor, and out toughened us, man. So we just learned from that, and every time, I mean, when we watched film the next day, it was just like, wow, like they did that and we didn't do this, or it was stuff like that. So we just got better from that, and then just try to up our toughness because every night, it don't matter who we play, we got to be tough playing, especially playing in this conference.
We have time for a couple more. Rex, did you have another question?
No, sorry, my hand never went down from the last one.
All right. I'll go out to John Niatawa.
Damien, were you driving to make plays for others in this one? Like with the intent of, hey, I'm going to just jump stop and try to create? Because there were a number of those plays. You had one like jump, wrap around pass to Marcus for a 3. I mean, I just wonder if you kind of drove with the intent of like, okay, yeah, I'm going to find people.
It was really just the reads, man, just making the right reads. And if I didn't have nothing for myself when I went in there and jump stop, I knew that it was 2 guys on me. I was able to find the big man. I was able to find Ryan a couple of times. I was able to find Marcus. And just making the right reads, man. But I feel like none of these assists I had wouldn't have been possible if my teammates would have missed shots. So I got to tip my hat off to my teammates for making those shots.
All right, we'll do one more. We'll go out to Matt.
Thanks, Anthony. This might sound like a weird question. I don't know, but like, watching you the summer before you got eligible, it just felt like it was hard to describe your game in terms of like, what are his strengths and weaknesses? Like, it just felt like he could hoop. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain that any better than that, but like, how did you kind of embrace the idea that you can do a lot of things on the court that help a team win at a high level without necessarily focusing on one thing and kind of like landing in that specialist territory where you're a spot up shooter or a rebounder or whatever it may be?
Right. We're having talks with Coach Mack, man. Just having a lot of talks with Coach Mack, and him just telling me I can impact the game in so many ways, and in which some ways I never realized I can impact the game because like in high school I was the guy. I would never really paid too much attention to like getting stops, defensive stops, and stuff like that. Not trying to be like that guy because I was that guy. I'm sorry, but in college it's different, man. Because when you get to college, you got to realize if you want to play, you got to do what the coach tell you to do. And Coach Mack told me that I can impact the game other than scoring the ball, and I can be the great leader that I am. And it's carried over until today, man. So I just want to thank him for that because I would never realize how important I am to this team until, man. So yeah, I just want to thank him.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Damien.
Yep.
Next game is Sunday against UConn.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Anthony.